Bernalillo County calls it the largest master plan they've ever considered, the only comprehensive development plan they've looked at as Albuquerque's population continues to increase. It's an area to the southwest of Albuquerque, Mesa, for as far as the eye can see. But now plans to build houses, businesses, schools, and much more. Until this point, the plans have been tossed back and forth, but today the Planning Commission could give developers the green light to go ahead and move on to county commissioners.
The South Valley, arguably Albuquerque's oldest neighborhood, has gone through numerous cultural and economic changes, forcing it to adapt over the past decades. Though there has been an ongoing tension between long-term residents and newer incoming immigrant communities, the South Valley has been resilient in balancing traditional ways of life with social transformations brought on by accelerating development.
The South Valley, even though economically it's one of the poorest areas of our space, right? It's actually very rich in resources, and the reason why is because there's water rights and water, and that's where you have a lot of the local produce that is coming out of the South Valley, but yet the contradiction doesn't stay in the South Valley, right? The majority of the produce grown there leaves.
Okay, well, I've legally lived there for 3 years now, but I'm gonna have to say I've lived there for the whole 20 years of my life.
Can you elaborate the land grant that was in your family?
I think it was the Atrisco land grant.
Okay.
And it was, the Saavedras had it for quite a while. They actually had a lot of property even up in Mount Taylor, so they were a really wealthy family, and they had a huge house, like a huge hacienda right off of Isleta, I hear, and it's now at the spot where I think it's called Rogers Pipe is now at. So I mean, if you're ever down on Isleta, I think it's Isleta and Lake, that would be where the old huge family house was.
But now there is a very serious threat to the South Valley's ability to maintain their traditional sustainable forms of life, that is, the Santolina Westside Development. The implications of this project include putting at risk the most precious resource of the South Valley, the acequia system. Acequias perfectly embody tradition and community of the South Valley. They are the veins, the life source of agriculture that has sustained people in this area for thousands of years. These irrigation systems are extremely fragile elements of our desert ecosystem that face very serious threats even without this development. That said, Santolina's absurd demand of water will surely put the acequias in even more jeopardy.
In a world dominated by cash, economics makes more headlines than culture, and politicians only understand the world of economics, then it would seem to me that the protection of the acequias could be done under the understanding of the economics of water.
And so if you have any type of development, whether it's Santolina or not, you need to get the water from somewhere. The Water Authority came out with a letter of water availability, basically telling the developers that the Water Authority could provide the water for this enormous development. This development at build-out would require 20 million gallons of water per day. Not per year, per day.
My neighborhood in particular is still really like old families. So we have the Saises, the Bacas, who they've known each other for years. There's also a lot of farmland. I just love the people that I know there that care for you and that care for my family. So, I don't know, I just really love the South Valley.
What people are not taking into the picture completely is that Santolina, if it gets built, the impact is not going to remain within its boundaries. It's going to impact the surrounding areas, including the city, because this is a Bernalillo County decision. At this point, the city is not involved at all, which is pretty ridiculous given the impact that it's going to have on taxpayers as a whole, and then just the city itself. And the other thing that you guys really, really need to realize as your class is that this is not a new thing. They tried to pass the same development with a different name called Suncal. It started in 2006, and it was finally defeated in 2009, that same piece of land was sold at auction in 2010 for, it was originally sold at 250, right, for Suncat, 250 million. Well, the new developers, they bought it at 148 million in 2010. It is not something new. Even shifts that are going on in old ways of populating and settling on Earth, right? And Santolina is not in line with these new changes that are happening across the nation.
That's in a sense of creating community that is strongly, tied in the South Valley. Is the Sequia culture, because it's political, because it's economical, because it's social, because it's cultural, because it really is everything. The network of people mindful of the resource, even if they don't use it.
I'm afraid it's just going to lose the peso, like the weight, the trueness of it.
South Valley community members believe that development plans need to include alternative strategies and approaches to promote sustainable long-term growth for the city of Albuquerque. And most importantly, they do not want the traditional sustainable practices of their community to be threatened.